Welcome to literary and jury charge practice. Let's start out with a bit of literary. Ready? Here we go. Each of us has a regular day's work that he does in a routine, more or less mechanical way. He does his clerking, his writing, his typewriting, or whatever it may be, so many hours a day, and that ends it. But what about the byproduct, the odd moments? Do you know that the men that have made great successes in this world are the men that have used wisely those odd moments? Thomas A. Edison, for instance, was hammering away at a telegraph key when he was telegraph operator on a small salary. He didn't neglect the byproduct, the odd moments. He thought and planned and tried between messages, and he worked out as a byproduct of his telegraph job all the inventions that have given him millions and given to the people of the world thousands of millions worth of dollars in new ideas. Right, let's try some jury charge practice. Ready? Here we go. You are the sole judges of the credibility or believability of each witness and the weight to be given the witness's testimony. An important part of your job will be making judgments about the testimony of the witnesses who testified in this case. You should decide whether you believe what each person had to say and how important that testimony was. In making that decision, I suggest that you ask yourself a few questions. Did the person impress you as honest? Did the witness have any particular reason not to tell the truth? Did the witness have a personal interest in the outcome of the case? Did the witness have any relationship with either the government or the defense? Did the witness seem to have a good memory? Did the witness clearly see or hear the things about which he testified? Did the witness have the opportunity and ability to understand the questions clearly and answer them directly? Did the witness's testimony differ from the testimony of other witnesses? These are a few considerations that will help you determine the accuracy of what each witness said. The testimony of the defendant should be weighed and his credibility evaluated in the same way as that of any other witness. Your job is to think about the testimony of each witness you have heard and decide how much you believe of what each witness had to say. In making up your mind and reaching a verdict, do not make any decisions simply because there were more witnesses on one side than on the other. Do not reach a conclusion on a particular point just because there were more witnesses testifying for one side on that point. The testimony of a witness may be discredited by showing that the witness testified falsely regarding a material matter, or by evidence that at some other time the witness said or did something, or failed to say or do something which is inconsistent with the testimony the witness gave at this trial. Right, we will get back to the jury charge in a bit, but for now let's try some more literary, and we will carry on with the article we started before called Capturing a Piece of History. Ready? Here we go. What isn't typical is the stories you hear. Most of the histories I have done have been World War II, which is my favorite war to study. What surprised me was that the interviews were all so different. One man was interviewed by his young granddaughter. One was done quite professionally, and the audio was excellent. One was done at somebody's home, and there were trucks driving up and down the road, which you could see in the video. But his experiences were so interesting, I didn't seem to mind. Some were short, maybe 10 pages. One of the interviews I transcribed was almost 50 pages. This man was in the Battle of the Bulge. I could have just sat and listened to him talk all day. I can't stress how important it is to get these stories transcribed. Yes, there are benefits to getting involved in this program. Court reporters can earn PDCs toward their overall continuing education total, and students who transcribe can earn a free membership with NCRA. In addition, this type of work will certainly be good literary practice for people planning to take a certification exam. However, the program is important on a broader level. I gained a real understanding and respect for our work as guardians of the records and keepers of the spoken word. If the Library of Congress had not asked for these interviews and stories, the stories of so many people who were involved in the U.S. wars would be lost. And without people like us to take the audio and turn it into a written record, it would be difficult for scholars to study and learn from those stories. All right, let's get back to some jury charge practice. Here we go. Earlier statements of a witness were not admitted in evidence to prove that the contents of those statements are true. You may consider the earlier statements only to determine whether you think they are consistent or inconsistent with the trial testimony of the witness, and therefore whether they affect the credibility of that witness. If you believe that a witness has been discredited in this manner, it is your exclusive right to give the testimony of that witness whatever weight you think it deserves. Certain charts and summaries have been shown to you solely to help explain the facts disclosed by the books, records, and other documents which are in evidence in the case. These charts and summaries are not evidence or proof of any facts. You should determine the facts from the evidence. Certain charts and summaries have been received into evidence. Charts and summaries are valid only to the extent that they accurately reflect the underlying supporting evidence. You should give them only such weight as you think they deserve. All right, a little more literary material, literary practice. Ready? Here we go. Benjamin Franklin, in his story of his life, shows an endless number of such efforts along the lines of using the odd moments in 100 different ways. He managed to make the extra hours useful and productive. What a man does in his odd moments is not only apt to bring him profit, it is apt also to increase his mental activity. The mind craves a change, and it often does well the unusual thing out of the routine. The way to hunt for more is to utilize your odd moments. every minute that you save by making it useful, more profitable, is so much added to your life and its possibilities. Every minute lost is a neglected byproduct. Once gone, you will never get it back. And we will stop there, and that will conclude our literary and jury charge practice.